From China to Japan, deadly cold is gripping East Asia. Experts say it's the new norm. CNN, Hong Kong. A deadly cold snap that is gripping East Asia has killed at least 4 people in Japan after sub-zero temperatures and heavy snow brought travel chaos during the Lunar New Year holiday, with the climate expert warning that such extreme weather event had become the new norm. Japanese officials said all 4 of those who died on Wednesday and Thursday had been working to clear snow amid what Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno has called on once in a decade cold snap. 2 of the deaths were reported in the western Niigata Prefecture, with one in southwestern Oita Prefecture and one in southern Okayama Prefecture, where the victim had a heart attack. In neighboring South Korea, heavy snow warnings were issued this week as temperatures in the capital Seoul fell as low as minus 15 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, and plummeted to record lows in other cities. Officials said the resident said it began snowing heavily overnight late Wednesday into Thursday. On the popular tourist island of Jeju, harsh weather this week led to the cancellation of hundreds of flights while passenger ships were forced to stay in port due to huge waves, according to the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure Headquarters. Cold air from the North Pole has reached South Korea directly after traveling through Russia and China. Korea Meteorological Administration spokesperson Woo Jin-kyu told CNN. Wu said that while scientists took the long-term view of climate change, we can consider this extreme weather, extremely hot weather in summer, and extremely cold weather in winter as one of the signals of climate change. According to across the border in Pyongyang, North Korean authorities warned of extreme weather conditions as the cold wave swept through the Korean peninsula. Temperatures in parts of North Korea were expected to dip below minus 30 degrees Celsius, minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit, state media reported. In Japan, hundreds of domestic flights were cancelled on Tuesday and Wednesday due to heavy snow and strong winds that hampered visibility. Major carrier Japan Airlines and All Nippon Airways cancelled a combined total of 229 flights. High waves caused by snowstorm on Jeju Island, South Korea, January 24, 2023. Meanwhile, the high-speed trains were suspended between the northern Fukushima and the Shinjo stations, Japan Railway Group said. China's meteorological authority has also forecasted big temperature drops in parts of the country and on Monday issued a blue alert for the cold wave, lowest level in four-tier warning system. Moe, China's northernmost city, on Sunday saw temperatures drop to minus 53 degrees Celsius, minus 63.4 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the coldest ever recorded, meteorologists said. Ice fog, a weather phenomenon that occurs only in extreme cold when water droplets in air remains in liquid form, is also expected in the city this week, local authorities said. Other parts of Asia also felt the impact of harsh cold weather. Earlier this month in Russian Siberia, temperatures in the city of Yakutsk stood at minus 62.7 degrees Celsius, minus 80.9 degrees Fahrenheit, a record for the place widely known as the world's coldest city. The cold was also felt in Afghanistan, where Taliban officials reported the death of the at least 157 people as the country experiences one of its coldest ever winters with minimal humanitarian aid. Officials said the temperatures in the early January had plummeted, plummeted to as low as minus 28 degrees Celsius, minus 18 Fahrenheit. Tourists pose for photos in front of the thermometer, reading minus 11.3 degrees Celsius, 11.6 degree Fahrenheit. Otaru, Fukuoka Prefecture of northern Japan on January 24, 2023. You know, Ye Sang-wook, a climate professor at Hanyang University in Seoul, attributed the extreme cold wave on the Korean peninsula to Arctic winds from Siberia, adding that the cold wave in the South Korea this year was partly due to the melting of Arctic ice caps from the warming climate. There has been a record melting last year and this year, he said. When sea ice is melted, the sea opens up, sending up more vapor into air, leading to more snow in the north. As climate change worsens, the region would face more severe cold weather in the future, he said. There is no other explanation, he said. The climate change is indeed depending, deepening, and there is a consensus among global scientists that these kinds of cold phenomena will worsen going forward. Kevin Trembelt from the U.S. National Center for Atmospheric Research, called this NCAR, agrees that extreme weather events were the new norm, adding, "We certainly can expect that weather extremes are going to be worse than they were before." He also pointed to the El Nino and the La Nina climate pattern cycles in the Pacific Ocean that affect weather worldwide. La Nina, which typically has the cooling effect on global temperatures, is one of the reasons for the current cold snap, he said. There is certainly a large natural variability that occurs in the weather, but we often hear about the El Nino phenomenon, and at the moment we are in the La Nina phase, and that certainly influences the kinds of patterns that tends to occur, and so that's a player as well, he said. CNN's Emiko Jokuka contributed reporting.